Is 2026 the year that Microsoft drops the next-gen Xbox? What is up, y'all? I am Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff, the latest news, rumors, games, accessories, pretty much anything I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And in today's video, we're going to talk about why many people believe the release of the next-gen Xbox is right around the corner, how Xbox is tripling down on this move that has split the fandom, and we'll wrap up the video talking about some surprising revelations from a new Xbox fan. So 2026 is already shaping up to be a pretty cool year in terms of media that I like. Avatar Studios is supposed to be releasing a new movie. Fable is going to be out in 2026. Shrek 5, depending on how you feel about the animation, is also coming out in 2026. And maybe, just maybe, a new Xbox is going to be releasing in 2026 as well. Now, this is a rumor that has been making its way around the community, but then after Phil Spencer was doing some interviews lately, I was like, I don't know, it doesn't sound like they're ready to drop something in 2026. Feel like 2028, which is that date, that year that we were seeing from those court documents, that seems a little bit more reasonable, especially for the Xbox handheld. Phil Spencer was like, we'll release it when we'll release it. It's a couple of years out. And you know what? As an Xbox fan, I have been left waiting for a long time on a lot of their projects. So I'm just, I'm giving them a little time. I'm like, okay, 2028, that seems more reasonable. But the Ghost of Hope, who is a prominent Call of Duty leaker, has many people thinking, maybe 2026, that is going to be the year we see a next-gen Xbox. Now, Ray, hold up. I thought this dude talked about Call of Duty stuff. How would he have any knowledge about what's going on over at Xbox, hardware-wise? And well, at least for this time, Call of Duty and the fate of the next-gen Xbox seem to be tied. He took to Twitter and alleged that Call of Duty 2026 is being developed with the next generation Xbox in mind. And also that this year's Call of Duty was going to be the last Call of Duty that shows up on previous gen consoles. Now, I'm trying to be chill about this. I don't want to fall for any more rumor stuff about next gen hardware, but there's a lot about this that makes sense. Number one, he's not the first person to link next gen Xbox hardware to the year 2026. As far back as 2023, Red Gaming Tech was linking a next-gen Xbox release to the year of 2026. And it's actually not the first time that Ghost of Hope has talked about this either. Literally this time last year, March 2024, he tweeted, hearing from trusted sources that the next Xbox is planned to be released in late 2026, very likely that COD 2026 is a day one release for it. And while right now that's just a rumor, that's a move that honestly makes a lot of sense when you look at Xbox in terms of how they're doing as a business right now. It's no secret that Xbox Series X and S console sales, they're not doing too hot. Part of me believes that Xbox, now that they've adopted this whole multi-platform identity, games on as many devices as they can possibly manage, including their competitors' hardware like PlayStation and Nintendo, it makes sense that they would want to hit the reset button on the Series consoles and move ahead with their future hardware that is more in line with their current philosophy. That's not really the Series X and S's fault. At the beginning of this generation, it seemed that Xbox was pretty gung-ho on exclusives and driving hardware sales. Then post-Activision Blizzard merger, they were like, no, we're gonna be all about multi-platform, games everywhere, everyone holds hands, sings kumbaya. And it could also really benefit them to get a jump on the PlayStation 6, which we still assume is gonna release in 2028. Phil Spencer has mentioned, we want our hardware to be the differentiator. And if Xbox comes out with this off-the-wall hardware like a handheld or like a PC console hybrid, it could give console gamers time to really get acquainted with this new look Xbox before the PlayStation 6 comes out. And also, if there's any franchise that could dictate when Xbox is going to release any new hardware, it would absolutely be Call of Duty. That is their big money maker, their cash cow, and it would be a great move on Microsoft's part to say, hey, remember when we launched the Series X and there was no cool launch titles or exclusives? Well, now we have the Series X2 or the Xbox Prime, whatever the hell they're going to name it. And oh yeah, it is the absolute best way to experience this brand spanking new Call of Duty. And if by some long shot that is true, we could see a reveal for this next-gen Xbox as soon as the June showcase or maybe towards the holiday season, so it can be ready for release in 2026 and ready for that Call of Duty. And it would also be really cool to see, hey, everyone can shut up about the PS5 Pro now. We got this next-gen Xbox that's stronger than the PS5 Pro, maybe not as strong as the PlayStation 6, but they can reclaim the title of most powerful machine on the market and avoid headlines like this. Although releasing a new Xbox in 2026 so soon, I can understand why that would piss a lot of people off, especially if you just bought a current gen Xbox, a Series X or S. But we've also seen just how long people have supported the last generation consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One. The big players in the space, Activision, EA, they're still developing games for previous gen hardware. I assume that's also going to be the case for the Xbox Series X and S, even if they were to launch a new console. So there's no worry that you'd be left out in the cold. That wouldn't fix Xbox's other problem, which is this apparent aversion or this lack of enthusiasm, to put it nicely, on developers and studios' parts to make a game for the Series S. But hey, Microsoft made the Series S, they put it out there, and they got to support it for as long as they can. It is kind of weird in a way to continue talking about Xbox consoles, because while yes, Xbox leadership is telling us we're gonna have Xbox consoles, that's still a vital part of our strategy moving forward, they're also tripling down on the whole everything's an Xbox thing. And even now they're gearing up for a GDC that is centered around this philosophy of theirs: develop for Xbox anywhere, reach players everywhere. They're saying that attendees that come by the Xbox Lounge at GDC will have the chance to see the latest Xbox experience on PC, join a Q&A with an Xbox development expert, and learn about the opportunities and benefits of building with Xbox across PC, cloud, and console. Xbox is expanding to any screen on any device, making it easier for anyone to play with the friends they want, whether they choose to play with Xbox console, PC, smart TV, or mobile. We're inviting developers to go behind the scenes to better understand what it means for Xbox to be playable on any screen. So yeah, we thought that ad that they put out, that this is an Xbox commercial, we thought that was crazy. They're not even done yet. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Now they're going full steam ahead on it. They're moving into the stage of trying to pitch developers, hey, building games for us, which means console, PC, and cloud, that's the future, that's the way to go. And all this talk about a next-gen Xbox, Xbox expanding to other screens, other platforms, it got me curious, because I'm like, I'm coming at it from the perspective of a guy who's been an Xbox fan for many years, but also someone who's locked into the news cycle surrounding Xbox, whether it's like the YouTube news cycle, Twitter, following these different news outlets. So I wanted to switch it up a bit. I wanted to bring in my wife, Haley, a new Xbox fan, to get her perspective, and it may surprise you. Now, I wanted to bring you on because you have a very unique perspective in all of this. Me and Haley, believe it or not, we've been together for a long time.
Yes.
We've been together through multiple console generations.
Yep.
If we wanted to measure it by that metric. When we first started dating, I had an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And then I had the Xbox One. And now I have the Xbox Series X and S. Yes. In that entire time, you, at least for the first two, the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, you didn't give a damn about Xbox, showed no interest. What was it that made you want to own your first Xbox this generation versus the past consoles that you've known?
Sure. So I guess the main draw to the Series S was how compact in size that it is. I knew that I wasn't going to be collecting a ton of games and, housing all kinds of different games and using up all the storage on my console. I knew I was going to be using it for a couple cozy games that I would be playing, cozy adventure type games. I think it stems from sort of it's like an emotional mental thing too, right? Where, like you, I grew up with multiple siblings, and we had to share the one console, right? We had a PS2.
We all know that struggle.
We all know the struggle.
It's my turn to play the game.
Having to share. I think the idea of just having a console all to myself was a draw for me as well, if I'm being honest.
So interesting, because you went for the Series S. You didn't want a PlayStation 5. You didn't want a Series X. You didn't want to build your own PC. In your time playing with the Series S, you satisfied? Or are you like, nah, I want more. Now that I got a taste, I want more.
I really like the Series S for me. I think that, I think I was sort of indoctrinated into the Xbox family because of you. Like, as an
Indoctrinated?
Xbox, I mean, you've been an Xbox.
Like it's some kind of cult?
No. No, it's sort of like how I root for, or at one point rooted for, the Cowboys because, you like the Cowboys.
Dang. So there was never
Football
any
team.
love for the Cowboys at
No,
all.
it was, that's what I'm saying. It was developed over time. And, I've come into my own as, we grow as individuals. I also have developed like my own personal preference to the Xbox. I like it aesthetically. I really enjoy the graphics of the home screen. I like the app on my phone. Like, I don't know. I just really enjoy the overall experience.
Would you say it was like more approachable to you? Was that a factor?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
if I were to, in the times where I've tried to like play something on the PS5, I'm just like totally overwhelmed with like navigating the system. And maybe that's because I was already used to the Xbox. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think the Xbox is just a bit more user friendly for me.
Yeah, I think the UI on the PlayStation, I mean, it does the job.
Yeah.
I'm not as crazy about it. I have my gripes with the dashboard on the Xbox. I've talked about that plenty of times.
Yeah.
But I do prefer it to PlayStation. And so you're a new Xbox fan. There's all this craziness that you're not privy to because you're not locked into like the YouTube, like Twitter news cycle surrounding Xbox.
Right.
So one of the biggest dramas is that like they're putting games that you can only play on Xbox on PlayStation and maybe even Nintendo. And also like this whole thing where they're like Xbox games are on the Amazon Fire Stick now, and also like your TV through the like Gaming Hub app or whatever.
I guess I would say like good for those people who want to use it in that way, as long as it doesn't affect my chosen experience. I will continue to just play on my Series S. I wouldn't want to play on my phone. I wouldn't want to, play on the Fire Stick per se. Like if I had a choice, I would just keep using the Series S. So as long as it doesn't affect the quality of that, then like that's cool.
So as long as they have like a console,
Yeah.
you'll be okay.
Yeah. Why mess with something that's already works?
Yeah, well, that's the fear. It's like they go too crazy on this other stuff.
Right.
Putting their games on PC and cloud and whatever phones. It's going to, they're going to be like, why even make a console anymore when you can put it on that way?
It's sad to think about that. 'Cause
It is sad
it's
to
just-
think about.
As a kid, it's a rite of passage to get your first console. And when you think of video games, you think of like booting up this big like giant brick and, connecting your controller to that, and that being the home of all of your games.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird,
You're rocking with the Series S.
Yes.
You'd like the Series S. Is there anything that Xbox would come out with next generation in terms of a console that would make you go, I want to see that. I think I'd prefer that instead of my Series S. Like, is there anything that, as a new Xbox fan, that you are hungry to see in your console experience?
Okay, maybe something, if they make something more compact,
Ooh.
like something even smaller than this,
Like-
maybe like a little literal like square box,
Like a little cube.
like a little cube.
Like a game cube.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Just something I can something that makes it a bit more portable maybe, but also still like it's still a console, that still has a place in my home.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this too. I think, do they have this yet where you don't have to plug in like 8 billion different cords?
Right now, there's only 2 cords.
That's a 8 billion cords.
It's
for
the
me.
power and the HDMI.
Yeah, could they do like a Bluetooth type of situation where
Like
it's just
beam the
Yeah.
gameplay into
Yes.
your TV.
power cord, sure, but everything else is just like
Interesting.
sort of like how you can connect your controllers wirelessly to the Xbox. Like if you could connect your Xbox wirelessly to the TV, that would be great.
I don't know if we're quite there yet because you'd lose a lot of like that visual and audio information
Well, you
by
wouldn't
like
want that.
beaming it. Yeah.
But-
the wish list is just a power cord and somehow beaming that information into the
without
TV.
losing
Without losing that. So that's number one, Xbox. Now, when it comes to the everything's an Xbox, every screen is an Xbox, when I first saw that, I thought someone like Haley would be the target audience for that. Like, oh, you just need a controller, you hook it up to your TV, your Amazon Fire Stick, and you're good to go. You can play Xbox games. But here, she's saying the opposite. She's like, no, I still want a console, even if it's something like a Series S. And that raises a couple of questions for me. Who is the target audience for Xbox when it comes to putting their games on phones, on tablets, on any screen, if not someone like Haley? And number two, if there's a scenario where they ditch hardware entirely, would they mind losing out on the hardcore fans and new fans like Haley who just want a box they can plug into their TV to play games? There are a lot of questions that Xbox needs to figure out. That's why I'm thinking they're like, yeah, we still need to have Xbox consoles because we haven't really figured out this other, how much cloud gaming is gonna blow up, how much PC gaming is gonna blow up for us with Steam breathing down our necks. So I'm personally really hoping that they deliver on this promise that they've been telling us of making these next-gen consoles, the Series X2 and the handheld. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Help me on my journey to 200,000 subs. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.